hit record. Alrighty, this is what class 4 of the blender portion of this course. I know last time Kip said we were going to do curves this week, but we decided that that might be a little bit advanced for like the fourth class. And like maybe like we thought maybe y'all need to like kind of get a little bit more practice in like the basic manipulations of shapes, pushing, pulling, extrusions and stuff like that. So, um, we decided to give y'all something a little bit more simple. I don't know if y'all
Thank you.
can. I don't know if you can see what this is, but I did like this little dresser with a mirror. That's what it looks like in color, just so you can see it better. So hopefully we can get through this. All right, let me. So, of course, it's time to open up a new Blender file. Once you open it, you'll see like the camera, the cube, and the light. Just hit A, the letter A and X, and then it'll delete, or you can hit A and delete, and it'll delete the items that's already in the scene. Let me move this to the side over here. Actually, move it back some. And let me know when you're ready.
Ready.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, my energy kind of low today, so I'm gonna try to be, pep up a little bit. All right. So we're gonna start by creating the basic cube, which we can do that by hitting Shift A, go up to Mesh, and select the cube. Okay, now that we have the cube in our scene, let's hit 1 on the numpad, and we're going to hit S, and we're going to start by making it wider. So once we hit S, you can hit X, the letter X, and just pull it. I think we're going to pull it out. Yeah, that's good right there. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, yeah. So pull it out to about right here on the X axis. And then we're going to select the letter S again. And we're going to hit the Z axis. And we're going to make it a little bit taller. About right there. I think that's like 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so about right there. And once you do that, on the numpad, hit 3. Or if you don't have a numpad, you can just go up here and select the X, and it'll take you to the side. And we're going to hit the letter S again, and we're going to select the Y, and we're going to kind of extend it a little bit on the Y axis. Probably about right there is good, or somewhere close to that. That way we have like a shape that's close to a dresser. Okay. Yeah, that's okay right there. All right. Once you have your dresser shape, hit the tab key, and we're going to go into edit mode. Once we're in edit mode, you can either come up here and select the edge tool, or if you want to do something different, you can just select the number 2, and it'll also take you in edge select mode. Okay. And once you're in edge select mode, hit Control R, and that's going to bring us up a loop cut. Once you get your loop cut, take it up. We're gonna take it up close to the top, about right here. If y'all can see well, right there. Okay. All right. Now we got our now we got our edge here. We got our loop cut right here. I want us to select this whole area, this entire face area right here. So let's select either the three, number three, on the hit the three key, or we can go up here and select the face mode. And once we're in face mode, hold down the Alt key and click to select all those faces in that entire area.
I'm sorry, can you hold for just a moment?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, for some reason my whole thing is being selected when I do that.
The whole talking about the entire. Okay, hold on 1 second. All right. So do you have your loop cut right here?
Yes.
Okay. So hover the your mouse kind of like in this area right here between
Mm-hmm.
these two lines, like kind of right here, and you click the you hold your Alt key and then click with your mouse
It's still selecting the whole
the
thing.
entire thing. Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh. Hold on. I don't know what that could be.
Hold on. What happened?
She when she select the when she try to select the faces, like hold it
Hmm.
out and select, she said it's selecting her whole entire thing.
Make sure that you're holding all and you're selecting on the line, the line between the faces. Try
Yeah.
try doing that.
Yeah, like right here on this line.
Just go ahead. I'll look at the video.
Okay. You sure? Cuz we can.
I don't want to hold the class up.
Okay. Okay. All right. So now that we have this, we have all of this selected, this face surrounding the entire top part of this um, cube selected. Hold down the Alt key and the E key. And this menu is going to come up, the extrude menu, and you should select extrude faces along normals. What that's going to do is going to extrude faces that's going to be like, they're going to all be in the same direction and kind of in proportion with each other. I mean, that's the best way I can explain it. And then you can take your mouse and push in, like push forward, just to give it a little, you extruding all around just to kind of give it, bring this out of the top part out a little bit, like just about right there. I'll do it again. So,
Jackie,
uh huh.
when I did that,
Mhm.
only the front piece came forward. The whole thing didn't come forward.
Okay. Do you have all of this selected? Okay. So you have to select all of this first. Hover your mouse on
Okay,
this
hold on.
line. Hit Alt and click with your mouse.
Yep.
And all of this have to be selected. Like all of this have to be highlighted. All of these faces. Now.
Okay, hold on. All
Mhm.
right, I'll catch up.
Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna do it again, just for anybody else. Okay. So Alt, click, select all these faces. Okay.
Why is
Now.
it not so good? Mhm.
Okay. You still having trouble with it?
It's just when I go to select, it's only selecting just the front panel. It's not selecting all for some reason.
Okay, try doing it this way. Like if you can't select it, hold shift and just click each panel separately and just hold shift and see if that'll work.
Oh, my dog.
Yeah, a lot of times if you have trouble with that, you can just shift click, shift click, shift click, shift click, and that's just another way to select multiple panels at once.
All right, the shift click worked.
Okay, okay, good.
Thank
So,
you.
so now what we're gonna do, we're gonna extrude all of these faces at the same time. So normally, if you want to extrude one face, you just hit the E key in whichever direction you want to extrude in, X, Y, Z, whatever. But what we're going to do now, we're going to extrude all the faces along the normals. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to hit Alt, we're going to hold the Alt key and the E key. This menu is going to come up. We're going to select Extrude Faces along normals. Now, once you have that selected, push your mouse forward, and you see how it's extruding all those faces at the same time in the same, pretty much in the same direction. Alt E, extrude them along normals, and we want to extrude like right about here, not too much, just to give it a little bit of dimension. Okay, let me know when you have it, if you're having any issues or anything. Okay, so what I want to do now is click this face right here, the front face. And I don't know, like, if you all are using this key or if you use the G, but if you want to use the G, you can hit G and Y, and you can push it forward a little bit like that. Or if you're using the arrows, the move tool, you can select the move tool and move it forward just a little bit. Again, let me do it again. Get off of that. Okay, you can hit either select G and Y and move it a little bit forward on the Y axis, or you can select the move tool and just push it up just a little bit, just a hair, just to have it out a little bit further than the rest of the faces. Let me know if anybody have any issues, or let me know when you're ready. Okay. All right. So if we are ready, we're going to move on. Now we're going to start working with this part of the dresser. Create the drawers, the dresser drawers. So first, I want us to go into Edge Select You can either click on it or you can select the two on your keypad and get in edge select mode. We're going to select Control R to create a loop cut, and then scroll up one, and we're going to do two loop cuts. We're going to place two loop cuts right there in the middle. Once you have your loop cuts in the middle, select S and Z, and we're going to scale it a little bit wider to get them further away, probably along the lines of right here. Let me do it again. Control plus R, one. Scroll up again, two loop cuts. Select S, and we're going to scale. Select Z, we're going to scale on the Z axis. And we're going to put some space in it somewhere along the lines of right there. All right. Now that we have those loop cuts, we're going to come back and we're going to add two more loop cuts. So we're going to select Control R again. Scroll your mouse wheel up one time to create two loop cuts. We're going to select the S, and we're going to scale on the X axis. Like right about here. Let me do it again. Control Z. Okay. Control R. Scroll up. S. And we're going to scale it along the X axis. Let's do right about there is good. Now what we need to do, we have this part marked out. So now we need to create the space between the drawers and the dresser. See right here? It has a little space between it. So we're going to add our last two loop cuts as far as like, marking that out. Well, it ain't the last two, but anyway. So Control R again, but we're doing it vertical this time. Scroll your mouse wheel up. S, and we're scaling on the X axis, but this time we're bringing it in closer, like probably about right there. All right, do a replay, instant replay. Scroll up, S, and we're bringing it in on the X axis. Okay, so we have our areas marked out. Now we have to select, we have to mark out the place that we're going to put the drawers. So that's going to require, let me see, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we're going to do some loop cuts again. So Control R. Let's see, how many we're going to do? We're going to do 1, 2, 3. Let's do 1, 2, 3. Yeah, okay. So Control R. And I think I did 4 for that last one, but I might do 3 for this one. So let's see. Yeah, let's do 3 loop cuts right here. So Control R. 1, 2, 3. And left click to store it right there. All right. If anybody is behind or anything, just let me know and I'll slow down a little bit. And if not, we can move on. All right.
Is it possible to move a loop cut once it's placed?
Yes, ma'am. This is how you move a loop cut once it's placed. You hold down Alt, you select that loop cut. You put your mouse on that line, you select it. And if you using the move tool, you can just move it like that. Or you hold Alt, select it, and if you're using G, you select G, and you can move it like I think on the Z. We move it on the Z axis. So yeah.
Yes.
Mhm. Yes, ma'am.
Oh my God, thank you so much.
Oh, no problem. Let me do it again for everybody. All right. If you done messed up and you want to move that loop cut, hold Alt, select it. See, it selected the entire loop, and depending on if you're using the move tool, you can move it like that, or if you're using the G, and I know we're moving on G, Z, and you can move it like that. All right. So yeah, y'all are trying to go slow so y'all can understand me. Okay. Now that we have our loop cuts, we have everything marked out where we want it to be. Now we finna start doing this thing. Well, actually, we finna go into face select mode. So either select your faces, face select mode up here at the top, or you can just press 3. And we're gonna go in face select mode. Once we're in face select mode, y'all see these areas right here? 1, 2, 3, 4. These. What we're gonna do, we're gonna hold Shift, and we're gonna select this area, this one. Okay. Do it again. Hold Shift, select this face, that one, that one. So we're selecting these 8 faces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're gonna do this thing called invert. Once you have your faces selected, press the I key. And you push your mouse in. You see what that does? It invert the face. Okay. Again, you press your I key. And I think we're going to invert it. We're not going to go too far. So just move your mouse about right. I'm going to say about right there.
Mine is not doing that.
Oh, Lord. Okay, hold
But
on.
it's moving all of them into like a small little
Okay,
rectangle in the center.
okay. Do this. If yours is not doing, if it's doing all of them into a center, try hitting the I key twice and see if it'll do it that way.
Oh yeah, yeah. I twice does it.
Okay. Sometimes it be like that. Sometimes you can hit it once and it'll do it. And some, if it don't work when you hit the I once, hit it twice.
Okay,
All
thank
right.
you.
So again, we're selecting these 8 faces. We're gonna press the I key, and for some people, if you need to press it twice, press it twice. And we're gonna come in. Let's come in about right there. You know, because we have to create that little distance between the, the drawers, so they don't all look like they just all clumped together, just one big thing. Okay, once you've done that, let's see, how did I do this thing, y'all? Hold on. All right, yeah. So once you have done that, with these still selected, I want us to go to the side mode. Let's see, still selected. Go to the your side view. Press the E key for extrude, and then press the Y key, and we're gonna extrude a little bit on Y. Let me do it again. With these still selected, go to your side view, press the E key and your Y key, and you're gonna use your mouse and extrude a little bit on the Y axis. Please let me know if you're having any issues. Let me know, if something happened or if you've already done it and you're ready to move on, let me know. Because I don't want to be moving too fast. Okay. All right. So now you see we push these out a little bit and we give the shape a little bit more I guess dimension. Because when you look at like a regular dresser drawer in real life, sometimes the drawers be out. It'd be like a little bit out. So it just adds a little bit more realism to it. Okay, y'all, I have to look at what I did over here because I wanted to look kind of the same. Select this. And when you want to get to something in your scene that's not right in front of you, I think I talked about this before, but when you want to get to something in your scene that's not in front of you, say you have multiple items, and say I want to get over here to this little dresser right here, I select it and I hit the delete key on my numpad or the period key, and it'll take me straight to it. So let's see. Okay, so I did that and I brought it back. All right. So now I'm over here and say I want to get back to the object we're working on. So I can select it right there. Hit the period key and I'm back over here now. All right, so I'm going back into edit mode and I'm going to select these faces. These 4 faces over here, 4 faces over here. So all 8 faces. Hold the shift key, select all 8 faces. And we're gonna do another invert. I just want people to get used to doing it because we use it a lot. So with these 8 faces selected, hold the I key. And invert it again, like right about here. If it's not doing it right, like we said before, hit the I key twice. I'm gonna go back, I key for invert, and come in about there. That's good. All right. Now what we're gonna do another extrusion, but we're not, instead of extruding forward or out, we're gonna extrude in just a little bit. So I don't know if I don't go like all the way to the side mode for this because I like to see a little bit. So I kind of have it like this. So I can kind of see what I'm doing at the same time. So what I'll still do is select the E key for extrude. And I'm extruding on the Y axis. So I select the Y key. And I just move my mouse back just a little bit. Like right about there. Okay, let me do it again. With my faces, all my 8 faces selected, I select the E key. And I'm extruding on the Y axis, so I select the Y key. And I extrude back, pushing my mouse back, right about here. We just want to give it a little bit of depth, not that much. Like you can use this method to make picture frames, stuff like that. Or window door frames and stuff like that. So, yeah. I might just see. All right. Just let me know if you guys have any issues. If not, we'll move on. Hold on 1 second. Let me see what I did over here. Yep, I did it. I did it. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to select my object here. I'm going to go into tab mode. Well, I'm going to go into tab in the edit mode. I'm going to select 2, which is edge mode, or we can go over here and just select the edge mode. And I am going to select this edge right here, the very tip right here, the edge. And I'm going to do that by holding down the Alt key and clicking on the edge. And it should select the entire edge. If it does not, and you try it again and it still does it, then just do it the old way, you know, the long way around. Just shift, click, shift, click, shift, click, shift, click, shift, click, and just go till you go all the way around that loop. Wait, not that one. This one. But for everybody else, just Alt click. Okay, what I want to do now that I got this edge selected, it's kind of, the edge is kind of, is sharp, like it's really, really sharp. So what I want to do now is bevel it a little bit, like soften it up a little bit, make it a little rounded. So I'm going to use my bevel. So the way we do bevel is hold out control, select B, and you pull your mouse out right there. And then if you want to add loop cuts to the bevel to make it a little bit softer, you just scroll your mouse wheel up. We're going to do one. Let's do twice. So let me do it again. I got my edge selected. Let me get closer so y'all can see. All right, got my edge selected. Control B. I'm pulling my mouse out, probably about right here. And then I'm going to scroll my mouse wheel up twice to kind of soften that edge up a little bit right there. Just so it's not so sharp. Okay. I'll do it one more time for the people in the back. Alt, select the edge, Control plus B. Pull my mouse back, and we're going to scroll up, do the scroll wheel twice to add 2 loop cuts right there. Okay. Let me know if you're having any trouble. If not, we can go on. Oh, and look, let me see. See how that edge is softer now, like it's not so sharp. Yeah, excuse me. Now, normally at this point, once I make the bevel right here, sometimes you'll see like the little bumpiness to it. And what you can do is you can select the object, you can right click and select shade smooth. Now, sometimes when it's shade smooth, it'll look perfect, everything will look good, you know, it'll be straight. But see right here, it's kind of thrown off because it's shaded smooth, but like everything is shaded smooth, and it don't, you know, it just doesn't look natural. It don't look right. So when you in this type of situation and you shade smooth and it do something like this, you go over here to your menu. You go down to the data objects property menu right here, the little green upside down triangle. Select it, and you go to normals, and you just select auto smooth, and it'll bring it back to looking natural. Like, see how it's more smooth, but it, you know, it's not as bumpy as it was. So let me do that again. 1, 2. All right. So I select the object, right click, select shade smooth, and we get this little funky little thing right here. So we come over here, we go to the little green thing, which is the data object properties menu, and we go under normals, and we just check auto smooth, and that'll correct that. Okay. So now that we have our dresser, well, we have the basic shape and everything down, we can move on. So what I want to do now is I want to bring in another cube. So Shift A, I'm bringing in another cube. And I think I'm going to do this mirror. Yeah, there we go. So we're going to do this mirror now. Bring it. So let's hit S. And we're going to scale it a little bit on the X axis. Let's scale it to about right here. Yeah, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, S, X. And we're going to go to about right here. Now what I'm going to do as far as like the Z axis, let's see. I could go in edit mode and just pull it up. Yeah, that'll be easier because that way it'll still be on there. So hit the tab key, hit 3, or you can go up here and select face mode. Select this top face right here. And if you're using your move tool, you just put you'll see your move tool once you select the top face. And just pull it up. Pull it up about right there. Or if you're using the G, hit G, and we're going on the Z axis, and just pull it up on the Z axis. About right there. And we're going to do the same thing for the side. So let's select this, the front face. We're going to hit the 3 on the numpad. And if you're not using your move tool, you can select G, and you're going to move it on the Y axis. Come back to about right, I'm going to say about right there. Like I said, or if you're using the move tool, just drag it. Okay. So now that we have the mirror sized up the way we want it, we're going to keep this front face selected. You know what? No, we're not. Hold on. We're going to go in the edge select mode. So you can select the edge up here, or you can select the number 2. And we're going to hit shift, and we're going to select this edge, and we're going to select that edge right there. And we're going to bevel kind of the round off the top corners of this mirror. So shift select this one, shift select that one. You have both of them selected. You can go into numpad 1, your front facing, select Control B, and just pull it so it curves right about there. Okay. So again, select, shift select 1 front face, Control B, and just pull it. And if you guys are getting this on your bevel, just scroll your mouse wheel up a couple times so it can be curved out a little bit more. So now we have the top part of the mirror curved out a little bit more, just give it a softer look. Okay. Now we're gonna do bevel on this. Well, we're gonna do the invert on this mirror to kind of push it in a little bit, and then we're gonna I think yeah that's it. Then we're gonna extrude it back. So select your face select mode or select the number 3. Select this front face right here. Select eye and pull it in about right there. Again, select the front face, eye, bring it in about right there. Once you bring it in, keep this face selected. You're going to press E and we're going to extrude it back on the Y axis. So we select E, Y, and use your mouse to push it back a little bit, about right there. Okay, again, I, keep it selected, E, Y, push it back about right there. So now we have the basic shape of our mirror. And let's see if we can smooth this out a little bit. Let's see if we can shade smooth and see if we can get those edges looking just a little bit better. It may help, it may not, but we're going to try. So with the mirror selected, right click, select shade smooth. We got this little funky thing again, so you know what to do when we get this little funky shape that don't look right. We go over here to the data object properties menu and we go under normals and we select auto smooth. It didn't make that way, it did. It helped a little bit. So now we should have a basic shape. We have our dresser and we have our mirror. Let's hold on, let me select this. All right, that's another thing I wanted to talk about. Hold on. Okay. Anytime you select the object and say like I select this mirror, right? I got the mirror selected, but like if I'm using the move tool, say the move tool is way down here somewhere, like it's nowhere near the mirror. The way to get it back centered on the mirror so you can move things more effectively is you select that object, you right click and you go to set origin to geometry. Once you set it to geometry, then the move tool will be right back on the mirror, or whatever object you have selected, and then you can just pull it back about right there. Yeah, that's good. Again, select. If your thing ain't where it's supposed to be, set origin and then origin to geometry. Let me know if y'all
Jackie,
follow.
can you please
hmm
tell me what the command was again for bevel?
Okay. Control, hold down control and select B. Okay. Is it working, City? Okay, let's see. Let me know if anybody have any more questions or if you stuck on anything.
How did you thin out that mirror? Because this look like I got a toaster on top of
Okay, if you want to thin it out, okay, you have the mirror, right? If you want to
it.
make it thinner, this is what you do. You select it, you hit S.
So you in face mode? What are you?
Um, actually, you can go into object mode. Go into object mode.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, tab object mode. Select it, and if you want to thin it, you hit S for scale, and we're working on the Y axis. So S, Y, and just push that mouse in, and
Hallelujah.
that'll make it thinner.
Thank
Also, when you change it in object mode, after you adjusted it the way you wanted to adjust it, make sure you hit Control A and apply all transforms. Because if you don't, you'll have a headache later on.
you. All right. It's looking like something, not a mirror, but it'll be all right.
It's okay. It's okay. All right. So I made changes to my mirror and then I applied the transform. So guess what? My move tool is way down here. So guess what I have to do? I have to select the mirror again, right click, and I have to go to set origin, origin to geometry, and now it's set back on the mirror. Okay, so now we have a dresser. Hello? Anybody saying something? Oh, I thought I heard something, y'all. Okay, so now I have a mirror, now I have a dresser. But this dresser needs some knobs. Like, how you gonna open it? How you gonna open the drawers? So we gotta create some knobs. And the way we do that, I'm gonna bring in another. I think that's how I did that. Hold on. Select. Yep, I did. And again, if you want to go to another object in your scene, you over here, you want to be over there, you select that object, hit the period key or delete key on your numpad, it'll take you right back to it. All right, so now we need some knobs because, you can't open drawers if you ain't got nothing to grab and open it with. So now I'm going to hit Shift A. We're back in the mesh selection. We're going to add a cube. I'm going to bring this cube out so I can see it. All right. So I hit 1 on the numpad. And I am going to resize this thing so it can be small enough because that'd be a big old knob right there. So now I think I'm going to start on the x-axis. So I'm going to select S and I'm going to scale it down on the x-axis first. About right there, I guess. And now I'm going to select S again and I'm going to scale it down on the z-axis. Right there. So now we have something look like a little plank or something like that. But we got to scale it down again. We're going to scale it this time on the y-axis. So we're going to select S, Y. And I guess if you want to scale it down on the y-axis and you all over here, you want to be able to see it, just select 3 on the numpad. S, Y. Let's scale it down on the y-axis. I don't want it. Yeah, really small, like right there maybe. Yeah, that looks okay. Maybe a little smaller. S, Y. Yeah. Yeah, that looks okay. If it needs to be bigger or smaller, we can scale it once we shape it. Okay, so now we have this little shape right here. And we're going to go into edit mode. So hit the tab key, go into edit mode on this little shape. And we're going to add 2 loop cuts to this little shape. So Control R, scroll the mouse wheel up one where you got 2 loop cuts. Then we're going to select S, and we're going to scale it on the X axis to make it wider. So let me do it again. Control R, move your mouse wheel up one so you got 2 loop cuts. Select S, X, and we're gonna move it to about, yeah, that's right. That's okay, right there. All right, now we have our loop cuts, and now we have 3 faces. 2 of these faces we're going to extend just a little bit so that it can kind of go into the drawers of the dresser where you grab like a handle and you pull it. So that's the best way I can explain to y'all. Sorry, but anyway, so what we're going to do now, we're going to go into 3, or we're going to go into face select mode. You can select face select mode up here. We're going to select this face. We're going to hold down shift, and we're going to select that face. So this one, shift, select that one. And we're going to extrude those, not too much, but just a little bit. So with these 2 faces selected, select the E key, and we're extruding on the Y axis. So E, Y, and use our mouse to pull it back. Pull it back about right there. Again, let me do it again. Select this face, shift select that face, E, Y. And we're going to pull it back on the Y axis. Let's go about right there. So we have our little knob. But remember, we started out editing this knob in object mode. So what we're going to do in object mode, we're going to right click. No, we're not. Hold on. We're going to click it. We're going to select it. We're going to select Control A, and we're going to apply all transforms. And you see it moved. I don't know if you're using the move tool, it moved it all the way over here. So to get that back on this object, just right click, set origin to geometry. So now we have our little knob. Well, we have the first one. So we can move it and kind of situate it where it's in the center of each drawer. Okay, let's see. Okay, so yeah, that's okay right there. Just real simple shapes. All right, so we got this first knob right here. And what we can do now, we can duplicate these knobs. You know, we got one, so we don't have to make another one because we already got that one. So we can select Shift plus D, and that'll create another knob, which is duplicated, and you can grab it and move it here. Or Shift D, and if you're using the G key, you hit G, X, and you can move it over here. So now we got 2 knobs, but we got 6 more drawers that we gotta put knobs on them. So at this point, what we do is you select this one, you shift select that one, and you can hit Shift D and just drag those 2 down. All right, and you just Shift D again, drag those 2. Shift D one more time and drag these 2 down. Show you again. All right. Select, Shift D. Drag these 2 to where you kind of got them in the center of the drawer. Shift D again. Drag these two down. Shift D again. And drag the final two down. And you got a very basic dresser and mirror. Now there is another way to duplicate and situate these knobs, and it's in the modifiers. It's called the array modifier, but I don't know. Kip might or might not agree, but I think that need to be a class all in itself.
Trying to tell you.
But so now at this point, I just want to get you guys used to manipulate basic shapes, extrusions, loop cuts, invert, duplicating, getting to where you need to get within the scene. Like say I'm way out here and I want to look at this knob right here and I'm way over here somewhere. So all I have to do is select it, hit the period key or, the delete key on the numpad and it takes me right to it. So, yep. So there we have the basic shape of a dresser in a drawer. And a lot of times when it's stuff like this, like these little knobs right here, and I know they're gonna have all the same texture on them, I always like join stuff because if you don't join stuff, you have a bunch of different things in your scene. It's just like unnecessary, like all this stuff over here. So some people do it, some people don't do it. I do, but what I would do is, like, I think I did it with this one too. I select this one, shift select, shift select, and I go down and select all of these little doodads, and I hit Control J, and that'll join all of them together. But of course, when you make major changes to objects like that in Blender, always make sure Control A and you apply everything, because if you don't, you will pay for it later. And that's basically it. The only other thing I can tell y'all is save, 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 which something I didn't do, but yeah. You have anything to add, Kip?
No, that was very good. I didn't hear lots of questions, you know what I'm saying? So it seems that everybody was following along pretty good. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So was did y'all get this one? Did some of the things stick this time, you know what I'm saying, of understanding how to manipulate the objects and stuff, extruding and giving insets and all of that stuff?
How do you create a cube?
You said
Come
what?
on now, DJ Marcus.
What
Oh
what
my God.
what about you, Anadi and Lena and Storm G Deuce? Y'all got any input? I mean, was it what do y'all think? Was it were y'all able to follow along pretty good?
I followed up to a point and I got lost. But I'm just gonna go back to through the video because
Okay.
some of my stuff wasn't selecting and all that, so I just kind of got screwed up there. But I'll go back through the video.
Okay.
All right, all right.
You did a great.
I got here late,
You
so
did a
I
great.
didn't even see what the beginning was. So I just kind of just watched, and I was just playing around with some loop cuts and stuff while she was going over it. I'm gonna have to watch the video again too.
Okay. Yeah,
Good
that's
deal.
I try to be repetitive, when I'm showing stuff because because sometimes you might not get it the first time, so, you know.
Now it's time. Now, Ike Fellow, how you doing over there,
How you
cuz?
doing?
Mr. Dub,
Is he
uh,
asleep?
he in the class, not paying attention. Then there